Hey chickies, so today we're doing a Galaxy Cat. Now this is somewhat requested by Megan Z. Megan has asked me on numerous occasions to do a couple of different things. One of the things she mentioned was cats. The other thing she mentioned was Galaxy, that she loves galaxies, and also she mentioned sweets. Now I didn't quite get sweets into this many, but that, is most definitely going to come soon. But for this one, we're just doing Galaxy Cat. So I really hope you like it. Let's get into it. I really hope you like it, Megan. I know you've been waiting for so long. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so firstly the polishes for this one are OPI's Black Onyx. That's on 3 of my nails. And then the white on my middle nail is, of course, OPI's Alpine Snow. The rest of the polishes I'm using for the actual Galaxy are all also OPI. The first one is this dark blue cream called Keeping Suzi at Bay. That is a good dark blue. It's beautiful. The next one is a lighter blue called No Room for the Blues. And then we're using also a purple, and that's called Push and Pur-Pull. That's from the, I can't remember the collection's name. I'm sure someone will tell me. Now the gold is called Honey Rider, and that's from the James Bond Liquid Sands collection. Okay, so now we're starting off with a dark base. This is just for the Galaxy portion of this mani to begin with, and I've done lots of different galaxies. I'm not even sure if I have a Galaxy playlist. If I do, I will link it here because I'll go and find it in a minute. But we're going to start with white. And we're going to sponge white. I'm just using little bits of ripped up sponge, of old sponges I don't intend to use for a gradient. So you just rip off teeny weeny little pieces, and it's best to use a pair of tweezers to hold on to that teeny weeny little piece of sponge. And so you're just going to sponge little bits of white all over, sort of in areas of your nail where you want the Galaxy colours to go. Now, to be honest, if I'm going to be really 100% honest, I wasn't really that impressed with this Galaxy by the time I finished. Although I've slept on it now and I quite like it, but to begin with I wasn't really sure if I liked it that much. So anyway, the reason why we do the white is so that the other colours will show up, obviously. And pretty much you'll see by the end of this mani, the black will virtually be non-existent on the Galaxy nails. So I know some people might ask, well, why do you bother to put the black on there? The reason for that is, even if, well, I'm not really sure, to be honest. No, I am. So even if it wasn't going to be there, like in your face, it's at least there, and it sort of gives a darker tone to the Galaxy, and that's why. So after doing the slightly darker blue, we're then coming in with the purple. Now you'll start to notice that this starts to get really convoluted, and almost like I can't make up my mind. But this whole thing is a process of basically sponging and blending. Now, no matter what colors you're choosing to use to create your Galaxy, that's basically how it's going to start out for every Galaxy that you do in this particular style. Now, it's also important not to be too concerned about whether or not you've gone too dark in some areas or too light in some areas, because you can always come in with some more black or some more darker colors, or you can always come in with some more white. Now, also don't be concerned about the thickness of the nail, because we're sponging this polish on, therefore it's not going to be very thick at all. It's quite thin. I know you're all probably thinking this doesn't look very much like a Galaxy, and I agree, I do agree, but what we're going to do next is going to make it look a little bit more like a Galaxy, and that is firstly to use some of the gold and put some little gold highlights all around the nail, and then we're going to come in with some white acrylic paint. And the reason I use white acrylic paint over white polish is because, one, it doesn't smudge when I top coat it, and two, it's easy to work with when you're painting fine little details. Now, an alternative to white acrylic paint to do this would be maybe a loaded up sort of, or more of a sparse silver glitter, or one of those black and white glitters is really good for creating an instant galaxy as well. I like to use white acrylic paint because I have it and I have the fine detail brushes that I use, but if I didn't have those and I had like a black and white glitter, I would use that instead. And that would work perfectly as well. Here I'm just creating one of my little comets. It's not the best comet I've ever done, I have to say. I'm not trying to do a bad job, Megan, I'm really not. I was so excited to do this particular one when I came up with the idea of what I was going to do. But yeah, this comet's not great. You can see that I've initially put too much paint in. I probably should have restarted it to make it look a bit better, but you know, I didn't. I just didn't. So what I'm doing now is coming back in with some water and trying to thin down that comet and make it a little less chunky. It's a chunky comet. Okay, so we're now moving on to the cat. Now, to do that, I'm using a Milv decal from Picture Polish. Now, I love this cat. It kind of reminds me of my cat, Buddy. Now, you only need to put the decal from these Milv decals into the water for like literally, I think on the packet it says 3 seconds, like literally 3 seconds, and then it'll just slide off the backing paper. But the reason why I needed to do it over a white nail as opposed to a black nail is because these particular decals, you would not have been able to see the cat because they're almost see-through. So you have to do it over white first. And then, you know, I could hear you all asking, well, how the hell did you do that galaxy on the background? Well, haha, I'm going to show you. I thought I was super clever. I still think I'm really clever. Like really, I honestly think I'm really clever for doing it this way. As you can see, the Milv decals are very easy to work with. They are super thin, like they're thinner thin paper. They're thinner than rice paper. I don't even know what the equation is of how thin they are. Super duper thin. Anyway, so we're going to put a coat of Seche Vite over the top before we move on to the next step of putting that galaxy in the background of that cat. Okay, so this is what I'm going to use to protect my cat while I'm doing the galaxy, and this is my old liquid Palisade bottle, and the reason I'm using that is because it's got a really fine brush. Inside it is, and that looks blue, but that was my old liquid latex, is the actual Merin liquid latex, and the reason why I use that now instead of the blue one is because it dries clear and doesn't stain my skin. The blue one didn't stain my skin badly, but it did start to, so I don't use that one anymore. Okay, so the painting of the liquid latex is only going to happen on the actual parts of the cat you want to keep. So in this particular instance, it's going to be his ears, his face, his neck. I'm not going to keep the bow. I just didn't think I needed to, so I didn't put the liquid latex on that. So just his neck and his face and ears, of course, and everything else just gets left alone. So now it's time to do the galaxy, and before we start that we need to make everything black. Now rather than just painting it black, I'm using the sponge, and the reason for that is because I wanted to. Because I thought it would be a better idea than just painting it and then I'd have to wait for that to dry, whereas you're sponging really thin amounts of polish, so you're building up the layers, and you need to work pretty quickly, not, you know, super fast, but you need to work pretty quickly with this. So we're going to fill up all of the remaining areas with the black, and then we can do the galaxy in the same sort of way that we did with the Galaxy on the middle nail. Don't worry about if you get any of this paint on the cat's face, because remember there's liquid latex on there, so it's not going to be a problem. It's all going to just pull off. I promise you. I already know, so that's why I'm really excited about showing you. Anyway, so obviously doing the Galaxy. So you've seen me do this before on the other nail, so I'm just going to speed it up really fast so we can get onto the really fun bit, which is pulling off the liquid latex, so I can prove to you that I'm right. Oh, now I may have forgotten to mention, make sure that when you're putting the liquid latex on, that you put like a little blob of it just under the tip of your nail, because that's what you're going to use to pull up and away, you know, to pull it off. And now for the piece de resistance, you know, because I'm totally French. Pull that liquid latex off, and there you go. Check it out. I'm so excited that this worked. I 100% did not know if it really would work. So I was so happy. Look at that. It's so cute. Oh gosh, I love it so much. Like, I could literally hear angels singing when that worked. I could hear them. And finally, you want to seal everything in with a good quality top coat. Of course, I am using Seche Vite as per usual. Can you tell how happy I am? I love it so much. It's just so cute. And the look on his face is just adorable. Not? Yes, it is. He looks so clever. Like, he looks really smug, kind of. Actually, he looks kind of smug. Like, he's just sort of a really clever idea. What a coincidence. And that's it for this one. I really hope you like it. Thank you so much to Megan Z for asking for cats and galaxies and sweets. Don't worry, I will get to sweets very shortly. But yeah, thank you. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye, chickies. Oh, and thank you for subscribing. And thanks for that delicious thumbs up. Bye.